Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Beautiful shot of the moon over here in Amsterdam. You're watching AMS Live, my name is Boy. We're standing next to the Polderbaan, although you don't recognize it immediately because I'm zoomed into the moon. It is at the moment a morning of arrivals. Oh, and I have to turn around the camera because otherwise the wires will get tangled. There we go. The first day that the Kaagbaan runway 0624 is closed for yearly maintenance, which means departures cannot take place from runway 24. At the moment, landings take place on this runway, runway 18 right. Parallel arrivals are in progress. Runway 18C is also being used for arrivals, and departures at the moment take place from one runway. Runway 18 left. If you look in the ticker, the weather is not very exciting, meteorologically at least. It is an Indian summer day. I'm in my shorts, I have my t-shirt on, put on some sunscreen. It's mostly blue. We still have a little bit of high clouds here and there, but it is already warming up nicely, and we're in for a week of summery weather. Good morning to all viewers who have joined in the meantime. Quinten, goedemorgen. Mail, good morning. Jackie, goedemorgen. Jan Kees, goedemorgen. Nick speelt zo, good morning. Paula, goedemorgen. Mario, goedemorgen. Christian, goedemorgen. Patrick, goedemorgen. Jinshin, good morning. Good to see you again. Gosse, goedemorgen kerel. Debbie, good morning. Matthijs, Marinus, goedemorgen. Ronald, goedemorgen. Now I'm not sure if we're going to see arrivals on this runway all the time. At the moment it is all arrivals, but the wind is blowing from the east and technically a little bit just north of the east. So I'm not sure if the wind direction will stay the same and if the wind speed might pick up later. If that would be the case, there could be a chance that runway usage will get switched up, and maybe this runway they will start using it for departures. Not sure yet, we'll have to wait and see. Michert, goedemorgen. Steve, good morning. Geert, goedemorgen. Hallo, good morning. Gerrit-Jan, goedemorgen. Jorg, Jans, goedemorgen. Already reflections on my phone screen. Right, let's have a look. Got a couple of airplanes coming. A smaller one and I believe a bigger one. And now that I'm looking around and also having a closer look on flight radar, it does look like now the Polderbaan is the only runway used for arrivals. This is Air France flight 1340. It is an A320 coming to the Netherlands from Paris Charles de Gaulle. 45 minutes approximately of flight time. This airplane is 13 years old. First flight was in November 2009. So Kaagbaan runway 0624 closed for yearly maintenance. Until the 12th, or at least that is the planning. You always have to wait and see if nothing gets delayed, but the weather seems to be very favorable to do maintenance work out in the open. James Mail, good morning. Camille, good morning. Doing well, thank you for asking. Hope the same goes to you, my friend. Right, we've got a big bird coming in. It is KLM flight 872 arriving from Delhi. 787-10 Dreamliner. This particular airplane 3 years old. Now, the slowest climber in the game is coming. It is the Surinam Airways A340-300 coming back to the Netherlands from Paramaribo as flight 994. It is an A340-300 underway now for 8 hours and 47 minutes. She's 15 years old. Her first flight was in April 2008. Let's see how much reversers she will apply. Behind it we have a 777 from Emirates SkyCargo arriving from Aguadilla. Good morning, me, myself. Koenie, good morning. Sumo Burger, good day. Wendy, goedemorgen. Good to see you. Hope all is well. So it looks like I might have to update the ticker already in terms of runway usage. Not seeing any traffic anymore to the center runway. All is coming to this runway for now. Reversers. Huh? Is that also something? I thought it was only the A380 that used in that only had reversers on the inner engines. It seems that on the A340 or both outer reversers are defective or on purpose disabled or something. That's strange. If anybody knows more about this. Anno, goedemorgen. Dionysus, good morning. Right, now. The next airplane is a 777, Emirates SkyCargo, flight 9916, arriving from Aguadilla. 777 freighter, 8 years old, first flight October 2014. Leen, goedemorgen. Chunky, good morning. Loco, good morning. Lasse, goedemorgen. Johan, goedemorgen. Brian, good morning. Checking in from Eldoret in Kenya. Cochrane Perkasa, good morning. Thomas, Eyu, good morning. Goedemorgen. Right, next up is Georgian Airways, arriving from Tbilisi. Flight 9651, Boeing 737-800. Flight time 4 hours and 28 minutes. This airplane is 14 years old. First flight June 2009. EasyJet A319 should be behind it. In the top left, visible. Eversteria, good morning. Joel, good morning. Early morning from Claxton. Indeed, an early morning. That is a 6-7 hour time difference. Always nice if such a small airplane makes such a big sound. Nice use of the reversers there. Dale, good morning, mate. Good to see you again. Hope all is well. Got an EasyJet A319 coming in. Got a 737-800 going out. Going to Oslo. Having taken off from 18 left, presumably. There is a bit of wind, not too much. Smoke may exaggerate the actual wind, but there is a little bit of a breeze. But it's not so much that it causes ripples in the water, or at least not significant ripples that you can clearly see. This is EasyJet flight 22161, an A319 arriving from Manchester. 15 years old, first flight May 2008. LG 1963, good morning. Also, an early night or an early bird or a night owl. That is 3:39 a.m. in Brampton, Ontario. Mabube, good afternoon, good morning. Though I'm doing well, thank you for asking. I'm standing here in the morning in September with my t-shirt and shorts on already. Got some nice sunscreen on, fully weatherproof for the Indian summer that is about to visit the Netherlands in the upcoming week. Let me have a quick look at the current runway usage. What has changed? Yeah, so this is now the only runway in use for arrivals, and center has opened up for departures. So parallel departures, 18 left, 18 C, and arrivals just 18 right at the moment. If you just tuned in, welcome to the show. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. This is the Polderbaan, currently the only runway in use for arrivals. Got two airplanes coming in. In the foreground we have an A320neo from SAS arriving from Oslo. In the background we have a 777 from China Southern Cargo arriving from Shanghai. Now today is the first day that the Kaagbaan runway 0624 is closed for yearly maintenance. It will stay closed until the 12th, or at least that is the planning so far. So 0624 out of commission for departures or arrivals. At the moment, all 3 north-south oriented runways are being used. With this, the only runway in use for arrivals. A320 Neo. SAS coming in from Oslo. Already quite slow, already quiet. Quite remarkable. Kevin H, good morning mate. Jannes, good morning. Hope all is well in Greece. Tiger 74, goedemorgen. Good morning. GCL Streams, good morning. Doing fine man, thank you for asking. Hope the same goes for you. Also, cheers mate for a hippo character super sticker in tactical gear, does tactical flanking maneuver hand gestures. That is great. Thank you so much, my friend. Next up is going to be a 777 from China Southern Cargo, arriving from Shanghai, flight 495. 777 freighter, 13 years old, first flight August 2010. Bon going around with Chris, good morning. Checking in from Southampton, where I'm hoping the sun is also out. Thought you guys were also going to have an Indian summer in the upcoming week. Not disappointing in the audio department. Hope you guys still have functioning eardrums after this. Victor, good morning. And good to hear that it is also nice in Southampton today. Now, looks like we will have to wait a little bit for the next traffic. We've got a Dreamliner from El Al arriving and oh wow, okay, next after that is probably an A319. So departures from 18 left, this is what you can see of it. It's the furthest one removed from where we are standing. Also checking out to see if there is an airplane taking off from center, but it seems like there isn't. Let's see if I can also... On some days you see, when I fully zoom out, you see the mic, on others you don't. Now you don't anymore, okay? Just fiddled a little bit with the positioning of the mic there. Now in the water over here it is all quiet. Haven't seen any birds so far. Yesterday too, a quiet day. The only bird hovering is this kite bird. Being quite active actually. Now the El Al Dreamliner, because it's good visibility, is already visible. We can see it turn onto the glide slope. Beautiful. It is a Boeing 7879 Dreamliner arriving from Tel Aviv, El Al flight 337. Current flight time 4 hours precisely. The airplane is 4 years old, first flight July 2019. And GCL streams, I did not upgrade my audio. That has been a few months ago that I did that. It has been upgraded in spring. Chris, good morning. Mrs. Professor, good morning. Good morning, Sock. Hope everybody is doing well. Beautiful day over here. Nice and warm already. Now the next airplane after the El Al Dreamliner is going to be an A319 arriving from London Luton from EasyJet. Still over the North Sea. Too far out to already be able to see. However, if it stays on course, we might pick it up if it gets closer by. That's interesting information, Jin. But as Dale is correctly asking, do they have the choice to choose which reversers to use? I always thought it was an all or nothing system for all airplanes, but I might be wrong. Would be a nice feature though. We're gonna do the new, we're gonna put new tarmac on the runway. Oh, why not use the outside reversers on the A380? Strip the tarmac already off. Makes it easier to renew it. Alrighty. El Al flight 337. 7879 Dreamliner arriving from Tel Aviv, just over 4 hours of flight. And this airplane is 4 years old. You can see that when the spoilers go down, the flaperons also go back into the flap configuration. Triple use on the Dreamliner, it's dual use on the other airplane types that precede it. But it is a nice feature to see. The moving part between the big flaps that are static, that is also part of the aileron system to bank left and right. In the meantime, thank you so much, Johns, for a cup of coffee for me. Thank you so much for that, my friend. Could definitely always do with one more cup of coffee. The next airplane to arrive is turning onto the glide slope further up north in the vicinity of Heemskerk. That is quite far north. So I'm just zooming in, hoping I might pick up something think it's best to have a look on the laptop screen to see if I can see something. I think it is still a bit too far out. Also visually not seeing anything just yet. It is better weather for contrails today than yesterday. This is moving from east to west north of me. Passing north of me about now. Not being able to make out a lot of details. I do see it is a twin jet, but that is about it. Not seeing any other contrails at the moment. And the direction where traffic going to the United States originating from Frankfurt is coming, which is approximately this path, still has a bit of haziness in the sky. Hopefully that might resolve later. In the meantime, I do see the next airplane. Now the question is, can I also show it to you? Still tiny. Have to wiggle the camera up and down a little bit. I think it should be there. Meanwhile, good morning to all viewers who have joined in the meantime. Lux Bro, good evening. Preacher, good morning. Matteo, good morning. Harry, good morning. Sock, did I already say good morning? I think I did, but I'm not sure. Speedbird 1, good morning. Ah, you guys have decent weather as well. Well, jumping into that water would be a last resort solution. Not sure if it is very clean. RDW, goedemorgen. Big Al, good morning. Andy Camps, good morning. It is a lovely day over here. Got a little breeze and an abundance of sunshine over here. Lena, goedemorgen, good morning. Vinny TV Adventures, good morning. Paul, good morning. Mike Wild, good morning, mate. Bisnovat, goedemorgen, good morning. Hola, Cristiano Ronaldo. Right, the next airplane to arrive, EasyJet flight 22517. It is an Airbus A319 arriving from London Luton. Flight time typically 35 to 40 minutes between London and Amsterdam. This airplane is 17 years old. First flight was in June 2006. Looks like we are going to be seeing an EasyJet butt. EasyJet booty. There you go. Boom. And are the flaps already retracting? They are. In fact, they have retracted nicely in time before the corner to the right was initiated. Pop Transit, good morning, good to see you again. Hope all is well. Let's turn around the camera for another EasyJet airplane coming in, an A320neo arriving from Birmingham. EasyJet flight 27842. 41 minutes of flight time. It is a 1-year-old airplane, first flight July 2022. Oh, and behind me, and as I was looking at it, it was diving under already, is a grebe. So we do have some activity in the water over here, though not a lot yet. Arriving further up in the north, from the right is an SAS A320neo. Now I'm not sure if we are going to be able to catch both neos in the same shot. Think not. Oh wait, there we go, there we go. In the top, SAS A320neo arriving from Stockholm. The next airplane after the neo in the foreground. So we did manage to get them in the same shot after all. Polderbaan at the moment the only runway still used for arrivals. We've got a little bit of wind from the east, just north of east actually, last time I checked. Let's also update the METAR shortly. See if the direction changes and also the speed. I think the speed is intensifying a little bit. Also coming is a Dreamliner from United arriving from San Francisco. Will be coming in from the left. Now, first let's have a look. There we go. While that airplane is approaching, let me quickly have a look and see if the METAR has changed. Was all KVK and no significant changes. Just curious to see what the wind is doing. Okay, wind 100 knots, 100 degrees, 7 knots. 100 knots is... that would mean excessive crosswind and crabbing. Now I would have to order in some food, because with 100 knots crosswind I would have to stand here all day. Show you guys the intensive crabbing. I updated the ticker with the latest weather. The wind particularly is interesting because that determines the runway usage for Polderbaan. 100 knots, 100 degrees, 7 knots, so that is just south of east, which means a little bit of headwind, if anything. So that makes it more likely that this runway will at least be used, will continue to be used for arrivals. The Dreamliner from United, alright, is visible. I have to crouch behind the laptop to see all the details. I've got a lot of things on my camera screen as well. Crosses, the f-stop, audio meters, the resolution, all kinds of stuff that can obscure small airplanes in the field of view. Could opt to go for a blank screen. Could give it a try. But having a look on the laptop screen gives the best information of what you guys can see and cannot see yet. SAS A320neo arriving from Stockholm. Flight 1553. Brand new airplane, celebrating its first birthday this month. Russell and the bros are also back at it. Looks like they are going to occupy a couple of the lanterns. A couple of them are flying further. Right. Double occupation. Sven, goedemorgen. Big Al asks if there are any mermaids in water. Not that I have seen so far, although we do sometimes hear the occasional splash, so that might be Ariel or one of her girlfriends swimming by. Could also be Nessie or his cousin, his Dutch cousin. Good morning, Roy. Tim, goedemorgen. Tim is going to fly later around the end of the afternoon. Where are you going to, Tim? Roy says, good morning, boy. KLM Dreamliner from Cartagena just gone over my house in Suffolk and will be with you in 21 minutes. Well, hope you'll be there to see it land. Assuming that it is going to land on this runway, which, if nothing changes, it will. Good morning, Tina. Happy Monday to you too. Hope all is well. Good morning, William. And thank you for joining. Airlines, flight 968, coming to the Netherlands from San Francisco. Six-year-old airplane, first flight July 2017. There you go. One Grebe. Standard livery, or is that still... No, I think the zebra livery has evolved into a standard livery. Doing some low level maneuvers there. Staying below the radar. Of course, tried and tested battle tactic. Also a little... Is that a BizJet? Let me see if I can pick it up for you guys. Where is it? There it is. So this is flying from the southwest to the northeast, more south to north than west to east. It is still a little south of me, but almost over me. It's almost a BizJet or something. Or is that the single engine? Is it the fighter jet? Now, unfortunately, I cannot read your messages now because my camera is pointing up and my phone is behind it, on which I have the chat. Trying to discern what it is, but if it is a twin jet, then the engines are really close by. Then it has to be a biz jet with the engines mounted on the fuselage. Now, it's not this airplane you're hearing. There's an airplane that has just taken off from runway 24 flying to the north that is producing the sound you're hearing. Also, another contrail is passing more west to east. Let's see, that is over there. It's already more significantly to the east of me. Here I can clearly discern two contrails, two exhaust stripes. Also flying a little bit from south to north, but mostly west to east, and it is already east of me. You can see a few contrails actually. There's one, well, let's zoom out further. There's one there. There's also another one over there. This would be the track that airplanes from Frankfurt to the United States are on most of the time. Let me go back to manual focus and also zoom in on the next airplane that in the meantime has become visible. And also let's have a look at your messages. All right. Dassault Falcon 2000S, that's assuming the first airplane from Madeira to Helsinki. Alright, and the next is an A320neo. Okay. Last one from west to east is Wizz Air from London to Timisoara. Timisoara, never heard of that place before. This is British Airways Flight 430 A320neo arriving from London Heathrow. Flight time it no longer says, but rest assured 35 to 40 minutes. The airplane is 4 years old, first flight February 2019. Good morning to everybody who has joined in the meantime. If you said hi in the chat, I'm sorry if I missed your messages. When doing contrails, the camera is pointing up and my phone with the chat window on it is pointing to the ground then. You're watching arrivals over here at the Polderbaan. It is the first day of the yearly maintenance of the Kaagbaan runway 0624. And that means that that runway at the moment is closed and is going to stay closed at least until the 12th. That is the planning, and you never know. Construction in the Netherlands, not always exactly on schedule. But at least until the 12th it is out of commission, meaning different runway usage. And today all three north-south oriented runways are in use, with this runway dedicated to arrivals for now and the other two for departures. Got another departure to the north passing by. As you guys can see, departures from center also visible, better visible than when they take off from 18 left. Dirk is telling that Timisoara is Romania. Never had heard of the place. Sander, goedemorgen. Mojave BNSF, good morning. also checking in from Yorkshire. I'm hearing some splashes, and I think we do have a couple of ducks over there. Focus to autofocus. Now we've seen them do that several times before already. Not sure what is so tasty over there that they keep coming back to that. Interesting phenomenon. Let's also turn around the camera for the next incoming airplane, which is an Embraer 175. There we go. Embraer 175 arriving from Prague in the Czech Republic, KLM flight 1352. Flight time 1 hour and 5 minutes, the airplane 7 years old, first flight March 2016. Behind it is TUI, arriving from Curaçao from Willemstad, flight 356, Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner. I'm not seeing the crows, Dirk. I'm not sure, the water looks to be devoid of it. So I'm inclined to think that they are nibbling on something else than crows, whatever that may translate to in English. Well, Sander, it's too early to tell yet. For now, with the current wind, there is a good chance, I would say. But earlier they did parallel arrivals on center and right and used left for departures, and you can almost predict with a high degree of certainty that come the arrival of the A380, they are going to switch to parallel arrivals. And if center is opened, well, we all know what will happen then. Wouldn't say that our chances of seeing the A380 land on Polderbaan today have increased compared to when the Kaagbaan was still open. But time will tell, who knows? Lovely sight, parallel departures and arrivals for a change. At least until the 12th. And who knows, if it gets delayed, we might get to see it a bit longer. TUI flight 356, Boeing 787-8, arriving from Willemstad, Curaçao. This airplane underway now for 8 hours and 46 minutes. 8 years old, first flight November 2014. Can see the next airplane coming to the glide slope from the right in the top left of the screen. That would be a 737 arriving from Copenhagen. Paul is having a quiet week here in Leiden. Why is that, mate? Oh, you mean, of course, with the Kaagbaan being closed, no longer the inbound traffic flying over Leiden. I get it. Took a little while. I'm not fully awake yet. Apologies. can hear the spooling up of airplanes from the center or the left runway quite well actually, with the wind also blowing a bit from the east. Now, two airplanes coming this way, Boeing 737-800 and followed by an A319. I have to crouch behind the computer again. We can see the next two airplanes already. And you can see how the nose of the airplane in the front is pointing a little bit to the right of us, that the wind is blowing from the east actually. Hey there, Mrs. Wolves. Miss Wolves, good morning. Good to see you again. Hope all is well. All other viewers who have joined in the meantime, good morning to you too. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. These are arrivals on the Polderbaan. At the moment, the only runway in use for arrivals. We have a little bit of wind blowing from the east, southeast, I think you would call it. 100 degrees. What was it, 7 or 8 knots or so? Nothing too significant. There's a third airplane approaching in the distance, not sure if we can see it, an A320 from Lufthansa. Let me see. Oh yeah, we do see them all three in the same shot. Nice. Alright, Big Al has to go. Cheers for joining. Enjoy the rest of your day, mate. Hope to see you again soon. Got Corendon Airlines, flight 714 in view right here. Boeing 737-800, arriving from Copenhagen in Denmark, which typically is around an hour of flying. The airplane is 11 years old, first flight November 2011. And Kai asks where this airline is from. It is from the Netherlands, Corendon. Although the owner is of Turkish descent, it is actually a Dutch guy. Georgios, good morning. And good morning to Roelof, goedemorgen. Weather station 12 in the house, nice. I'm assuming the weather is similar over there as it is over here. Indian summer over a big part of Europe, at least Northern Europe, UK and the Netherlands alike. This Croatia Airlines flight 450 A319 arriving from Zagreb. The airplane is 25 years old, first flight was in January 1998. Squeakiness in the brakes. Could use a little WD-40. Well, not on the actual brake perhaps, but rearing its behind. Let's quickly turn around the camera. We have an A320 from Lufthansa arriving from Frankfurt. Behind it we have a Dreamliner arriving from Cartagena, which was already spotted in the UK 20 minutes ago. Lufthansa flight 988 arriving from Frankfurt. Flight time no longer being mentioned, but probably around 40 minutes or so. 8-year-old airplane, first flight May 2015. Good morning, Zweni. Good morning, Science Owns Imposters. And here we have KLM flight 7879 Dreamliner arriving from Cartagena. It is underway now for 9 hours and 19 minutes. The airplane is 7 years old. First flight was in August 2016. Got another Dreamliner behind it arriving from New York JFK. Right, next up, KLM flight 644 arriving from New York JFK. This is a Boeing 787-10 Dreamliner that left New York 6 hours and 26 minutes ago. The airplane is 3 years old. First flight was in August 2020. And behind it, in the top left, is another DHL A320 arriving from Munich. Dave Morgan, good morning. Hope all is well. Hope everybody is enjoying this Monday morning. At least over here, beautiful weather. And beautiful airplanes to boot. Good morning, Joe, checking in from the UK. And Connie, good morning, who is checking in from Stockholm. And thank you for the kind words, Science Owns Imposters. Glad to have you on the show, mate. The next two airplanes visible, A320 from Lufthansa in the foreground arriving from Munich. In the background we have an E2 Embraer 195 from KLM arriving from Geneva. And number 3 behind them will be an EasyJet A319 arriving from Prague in the Czech Republic. Will be coming in from the right, and oh yeah, it is already visible, beautiful. Now, I'm only seeing 155 likes versus almost 500 viewers. Don't have any mods this morning yet. to amp up the audience, so let me do that myself. I think we can do better than that, people. If you like what you're seeing, give us some love, would you? Help feed the algorithm. Ugh. Get vomit in my mouth saying it, but it's how the world works. Reach more people that also like content like this. Let's quickly turn around the camera. The E2 Embraer 195 coming in. In the top left we've got the A319 arriving from Prague. The E2 is coming in from Geneva. This is KLM flight 1926 arriving from Geneva. This is an E2 Embraer 195, underway now for an hour and 13 minutes. The airplane is a year old. First flight was in October 2021, so it's nearly 2 years old. It's almost as if the windows of the cockpit were shaded, having a dark tint. Maybe it was just my camera screen that made it look like that. And Yillard is informing us that a Silkway West Airlines 747 is expected to land in an hour from now. Mr. Cole, good morning, Lance. Good to see you. Message to Schiphol Control. We need bird controller to the Polderbaan pronto, please. Well, I think they've listened to you, bro. Check it out. Bird controller has been there all along. It's just that there haven't been that many birds so far, with the exception of the 2 ducks and, well, the 1 grebe. So again, if you just tuned in, this is the Polderbaan for arrivals, the only runway at the moment. Also the first day that the Kaagbaan runway 0624 is closed for yearly maintenance. It is going to stay closed until the 12th, and that means that the other runways have to be used instead, which results in, at the moment, 3 north-south runways being used. 2 of them for departures, center, but also left. So you sometimes may hear the spooling up of engines. The wind is blowing from the east, so it travels this way a little bit. You can see how the wind is blowing. Now, that's a nice silhouette that we recognize as the A350, Delta Airlines flight 74, arriving from Atlanta, Georgia. The airplane is 6 years old. First flight was in October 2016. As the duck couple are still very enthusiastic about the food that is to be had on that side of the water. We have another 737 coming in the SkyTeam livery, KLM Flight 1228, 737-900. Bird controller also on the premises in the Ford Raptor Ranger K4. Gave him a little wave and he waved back. Also in the water, a nice grebe. I think it has progressed from the zebra livery to the standard livery as it has gotten a little older. So this is KLM Flight 1228, Boeing 737-900, arriving from Paris Charles de Gaulle, flight time 42 minutes, 22-year-old airplane, first flight June 2001. Lance says, boy, you missed Skippy, the Schiphol kangaroo bouncing past behind you earlier. I did give him a mention. My word. Skippy the bush kangaroo, that is from ages ago. That brings back some vague memories. Also having a look in the sky to see if maybe there are some interesting contrails coming towards me. At the moment that is not yet the case. We do have another airplane that has taken off from runway 24. Is that Air Baltic? Air Baltic in the special livery? Really awkwardly crouched, but I think that is Air Baltic in the, what is it, Latvian flag? The one we also saw yesterday, that we began the stream yesterday with. KLM? No, this is not KLM. Too far to the north. Speedbird, flight 2824, arriving from London Gatwick. 20-year-old A320. Hans Old Dutch Spotter, goedemorgen, good morning. DJ Dave North, good morning. Dave asks, which is the runway where people go right up to the gate as the aircraft rotates and is walk distance from the Polderbaan? Not really sure which runway you are describing based on your description. And Mishert says maybe you see Flipper in the water. We're all those are both Aussie series, right? Also, faint memories from childhood re-emerge. Flipper. Don't recall the theme songs anymore, but for Skippy I did remember some ancient helicopter that was featured in it. But then again, Airwolf also featured a helicopter that was a bit more modern. Sorry Lance, Shippy. I'll remember. Have to be careful these days. Don't want to get sued for copyright infringement. Right, the next airplane to arrive, ladies and gentlemen, is KLM flight 636. It is a Boeing 7879 Dreamliner arriving from Las Vegas, Nevada, right? Yeah, I think it is Nevada. Flight time 9 hours and 14 minutes. This airplane is 5 years old. First flight was in March 2018. Behind it on the far left is the next airplane after that. That is an A320 Neo from Air Malta, arriving from Malta. The number 3 should be an E2 Embraer 195. Not sure if we can pick up on that as well. Would have to have a look. Yeah, just a little bit in the distance. Right, now you see flex. And now you don't. Alrighty, Air Malta, flight 394 in the foreground, A320 Neo arriving from Malta. Flight time at the moment 2 hours and 46 minutes. Behind it is an E2 Embraer 195, KLM flight 1792 arriving from Munich. We might also get to see the number 3 airplane approach from the left, which is an Air Europa 737, not the Dreamliner today, it seems like. Now, will it appear in time? Maybe if we zoom out just a little bit, give it a bit more time to appear. Maybe just a teensy bit to the right. And to the bottom. Yeah, no, it's not going to happen. Too bad. Even though I believe they have changed to a different system which allows for less separation between the airplanes. You don't always get to see the three airplanes in the same shot yet. Now we should see them together. There we go. In the foreground, KLM Flight 1792, E2 Embraer 195, arriving from Munich. Flight time right now, 1 hour and 3 minutes. The airplane is a year old. First flight was in February 2022, and behind it is Air Europa, arriving from Madrid. Flight 1091, 737-800. Flight time 1 hour and 52 minutes. And the number 3 also behind it. Nice visualization of the glide slope there. It's getting busy. We've got 3 consecutive heavies after the Air Europa 737. And the KLM vacating via the first exit, which we are standing in line with. Sock has to go. Thank you for joining, my friend. Good night. Sleep tight. Hope to see you again soon. Maybe on Thursday. Han, goedemorgen. Just making a touch and go today. But thank you for joining nonetheless. Even if your stay is going to be a short one, always good to see you again. Hope all is well, mate. Now, Air Europa. And let's have a look. Big birds behind it. All right, double A330 time, and a triple behind the second A330. Struggling a bit to find that triple in the background. Is it there yet? Huh, interesting. Would have thought it were visible already, but really? Okay, apparently the distance bigger than I thought it would be. 2 Airbus A330-300s back to back. The first one from Delta, the second from Turkish. This is Delta Airlines Flight 162, coming in from Minnesota, Minneapolis. Flight time no longer mentioned, but the airplane age still is, and it is 16 years old. First flight was in July 2007. It's one of those days where you have to click on the labels more in advance, otherwise the flight time vanishes. Seems like a glitch in the Android app I have been experiencing. Now, luckily lately I haven't been experiencing any glitches in the audio, so you guys probably have gone a little deaf by the royal application of the reverse thrusters there. I certainly have lost some some decibels in my hearing. Right, now we have the triple as well in view, at least decently. Hey Helene, goedemorgen. Good morning. This is Turkish flight 1951, Airbus A330-300. Flight time 2 hours 55 minutes. The airplane is 7 years old. First flight December 2015. And in the background we have a 777-300ER arriving from Johannesburg, which is underway now for nearly 11 hours. Also have another airplane that has taken off, flying to the north. Might interfere a little with the sound. Now let's see if Turkish can also find the switch for the reversers, as well as the Delta pilots did. Boring. Too bad, because the airplane has so much potential to create a ruckus, but next up, KLM flight 592, arriving from Johannesburg, South Africa. Flight time 10 hours 52 minutes. The airplane is 11 years old. First flight June 2012. Let's have a look. There's an ITA Airways A320neo behind it. Also staying hydrated a little bit. Hey, we have a blue spanner. Aphrodite, goedemorgen. Law and order back in the chat. No more anarchy for you guys. Then again, if there's one crowd that is well behaved, it is the AMS live audience, so alrighty folks. Brace yourself for some beautiful Azzurro, and also for a couple of A320s. A320neo, ITA Airways coming up first. ITA Airways A320 not Neo coming up as second, and Aegean A321 Neo will be number 3. And can I spot it? I do. Now let me see if I can also show you guys. Bearings. The building, where's the building? The building is over there. There we go. 777 arriving from Cape Town, also on its way. Spotted it, but it is a bit hard to see due to the lack of contrast, but visibility is good, so air traffic on the downwind leg also visible. A320neo, ITA Airways flight 108, arriving from Rome. Flight time no longer mentioned, but that is 1.5 to 2 hours if I'm not mistaken. Brand new airplane, first flight April this year. And just look how beautiful that blue looks when the sun is shining. I like KLM blue, but I think I like this better. And of course, having the sunglasses cockpit look is the sprezzatura that the Italians are renowned for. Next up, ITA Airways flight 120, A320 arriving from Milan. Flight time 1.5 hours, so this time I was early enough to see the flight time still, 1 hour and 27 minutes. The airplane is a bit older than the previous one, 14 years old. First flight was in October 2008. Hey Roy, goedemorgen. Also a short stay for Roy. Hope all is well, buddy. Zulfikar, good afternoon or good morning if it is still morning there. Checking in from Pakistan. Ian, good morning. Jackpot, good morning. Aegean A321neo is coming up next, and behind it is the triple arriving from Cape Town that we saw for a moment earlier. In the foreground, Aegean Airlines flight 3624 arriving from Athens. Flight time no longer mentioned, but probably 3 to 3.5 hours. Flight time, airplane age 1 year. First flight was in May 2022. Quite annoying bug that the flight time disappears if you click on an airplane when it is very close to the runway threshold. Didn't have that problem yesterday. Oh wait, yesterday I did departures. The day before yesterday. Goedemorgen, Thea. And good morning to Jerry, who watched the PDX Grand Prix today. Rinus VK finished P6 starting from P13. Oh yeah, that's a Dutch guy who is doing, what is it called again? IndyCar, or is that the old name? Not sure if that is still the right term for it. Now I'm also seeing an airplane coming in for center, so it seems that center has now been transformed from a runway for departures to a runway for arrivals. This is KLM flight 598, Boeing 777-300ER, arriving from Cape Town, South Africa. Flight time 11 hours 15 minutes. First flight of this airplane was in January 2017, making it 6 years old. So Grzeski is over there having breakfast. I think it is preparing to have some sushi, some sashimi. Seems to be struggling a little bit with getting it down. What is it? Oh, it's a little crab, isn't it? A little lobster or something. Where's the fish? Oh, it got away. It's a little lobster or something. A little river crab. Did your parents never tell you to not play with your food, little Grebe? A frog? Nah. It's not a frog, is it? I'm also crouched behind my laptop so I have a better view of it. Crayfish, okay. Yeah, he doesn't have cutlery, me myself. Meanwhile, Theo asks if I could make a close-up from KLM flight 1516 arriving from Norwich. That shouldn't be a problem if it lands on Polderbaan. Is your son behind the steering wheel? Right. Let's turn around the camera. Got another bird coming in for Polderbaan, a Dreamliner. TUI flight 703, Boeing 7878, arriving from Bonaire. Flight time 8 hours 51 minutes. The airplane is 9 years old. First flight November 2013. En Mojave BNSF says that the Orange Pride 777 is due around 12:48 local time, arriving from Atlanta, currently over the Atlantic Ocean towards southern England. Well, regular viewers will know that, assuming this is going to stay the runway for arrival, the plan is to stick around until the Emirates A380 has arrived, which is probably scheduled to arrive a bit later than the Orange Pride triple. So we should be able to see that as well later in the stream. Cameron says, stay until you see a Pan Am A300. That is going to be when hell freezes over, probably. Right, let's have a look. What is coming next? Got the plane A320neo arriving from Reykjavik up next. And we've got another A320neo behind it arriving from Geneva. The plane A320neo flight 460 arriving from Reykjavik, underway now for 2 hours and 36 minutes. The airplane is brand new. First flight was October last year. So next month it will celebrate its first birthday. And Carlo is saying that his daughter-in-law is the pilot flying on the next one, the plane A320neo. So let's see how she will do then. I'm assuming you informed her beforehand that we are expecting long wheelies today, right? Matt Riley, good morning. Checking in from Leeds on the other side of the pond. Well, the small pond, the puddle. Where I believe similar weather has arrived as in the Netherlands. Both the UK and the Netherlands up for an Indian summer week. Although, can you technically call it an Indian summer already if astronomically it is still summer? Textbook landing. One for the books. Ross in BC, good morning. Good to see you again. Hope all is well. .737 on its way to center. And an EasyJet A320neo arriving from Geneva, touching down on Polderbaan. This neo is 3 years old. The neo following a KLM style landing, keeping up the speed. Vacate late, sooner to the gate. Got a Dreamliner coming in next, arriving from YYZ. If I recall from memory, that is Toronto. Let's scroll down. Yes, YYZ, Toronto, Canada. KLM flight 696, Boeing 7879 Dreamliner. The flight time of this airplane right now, 6 hours and 41 minutes. The airplane is 6 years old. First flight was in August 2017. We've got an E2 Embraer 195 arriving from Berlin behind this Dreamliner going to center, and then a 737-800 arriving from London Heathrow behind this Dreamliner to land on the Polderbaan. The E2 Embraer arriving from Berlin. KLM flight 1822. E2 Embraer 195 on its way from Berlin to the center runway. Distance, it has now taken 54 minutes to cover. Little duck splashed into the water over here. Let's have a look. Behind the 737 is Air Canada flight 808, which is a 777 arriving from YYZ as well. Toronto, a popular destination for flights to Amsterdam. Good morning, Private Joker. Hope all is well. KLM flight 1002 arriving from London Heathrow. Right, Air Canada flight 808 is up next, arriving from Toronto, Canada. The current flight time 6 hours and 54 minutes. It is a 15-year-old airplane. First flight was in April 2008. Got an A319 somewhere in the distance behind it from EasyJet, arriving from London Gatwick. And it looks like that is an airplane. Well, what is it doing? Is that going to... Oh yeah, it is a 737 from Transavia arriving from Barcelona that is going to center, interestingly enough. Let me also quickly update the ticker in terms of the runway usage, because that is no longer correct. Departures 18 left. And arrivals is 18C and 18 right. There we go. Right, next up, EasyJet A319 arriving from London Gatwick. Also, Jerry, thank you so much for your super chat saying I only have 10 glide slope shots left. Well, if you want, I can help you get rid of them. Notice how you cannot see the glide slope just yet, because one airplane is higher than the other. Is that an airplane going to the other runway? I think it might be. I think it is. So we've got confusing information in the background going on. Airplanes arriving from the west but going to the center runway to land. Good morning, Michael, and good morning, good evening to Captain Eddie Bos. This is EasyJet flight 28674 arriving from London Gatwick. Flight time 41 minutes. 13-year-old airplane. Right, next up, KLM flight 1516 arriving from Norwich. And that is Thea-san on the behind the steering wheel. Embraer 175 arriving from Norwich, flight time 34 minutes. The airplane is 6 years old, first flight May 2017. I think we might get a runway inspection next, because after this airplane it is a bit more quiet and all the traffic, including one for arriving from Brussels, is going to center right now. That is typically what happens when the runway gets inspected for a few minutes. Oh wait, no, there is another airplane coming already. Embraer 190 arriving from Manchester. Meanwhile, K4 over here. And Embraer 175 arriving from Bremen. KLM flight 1754 making its way over to the center runway. While we're waiting for the Embraer 190 to become visible. Oh, I think I do see it already. And you're welcome, Thea. Zodirk, good morning, man. Good to see you. Hope all is well. Right, two airplanes in the distance. Let's have a look. First up, Embraer 190 arriving from Manchester, KLM. Behind it, A330-300 Delta Airlines arriving from Seattle. Further to the north, I think out of view, is an Embraer 190 arriving from Aberdeen, turning onto the glide slope. Let me have a quick look behind me on the big screen, see what you guys are seeing. Can we see that third one? Don't believe we can. So we have over 550 viewers and 279 likes. That's a bad ratio, ladies and gentlemen. Right, Embraer 190 arriving from Manchester, KLM flight 1072. This airplane is 13 years old and began flying in January of the year 2010. If you just tuned in, welcome to the show. This is AMS Live. My name is Boy. We're standing next to the Polderbaan, which is one of the two runways used for arrivals right now. We have some wind blowing from the east mostly. East-southeast perhaps. It's not much. No ripples in the water. Beautiful summery weather over here. Got a few high clouds further to the southeast, but it is otherwise beautiful weather. Nice and warm. Indian summer over the Netherlands in the next week. This is Delta Airlines flight 142 arriving from Seattle, Washington State. This is an A330-300 that is underway now for 9 hours and 14 minutes. This airplane is 6 years old. First flight was in March 2017. Now, if there's one airplane type that is capable of producing a lot of noise on landing, it is the A330-300. So let's listen in, see how it goes. Well, definitely not the quietest, but I've heard them louder. The next airplane in the distance is an Embraer 190. Arriving from Aberdeen, KLM flight 1442. Further up in the distance we should be expecting the A321neo from JetBlue, arriving from New York JFK. Looks like the gear is lowering on the A321neo. Beautiful representation of the glide slope there. Hey Jerry. Ooh. Bird in the foreground, photo bombing the moment. Got a little bit of wind. You can see that the windmills in the distance are slowly turning. It's not completely wind still. Yesterday it was more wind still. More 737s arriving on center. This one being from Paris Charles de Gaulle. Also interesting to see that it is going to the center runway. Our next airplane is JetBlue A321neo arriving from New York JFK. And while we are looking at its arrival, let me quickly go to flight radar on my laptop and update the weather. Don't think it has changed a lot, but it is interesting to see how the wind develops. Okay, 130 degrees, 6 knots. That is good news. That means that the wind has turned into a more southerly direction, meaning more headwind for the airplanes landing in this direction, which makes it more likely that Polderbaan will continue to be used for arrivals in the upcoming hours. Just updated the ticker for you guys. Temperature has increased to 20 C at the moment, so that is about 70 F. A321neo JetBlue arriving from New York JFK, flight 62288. Flight time no longer mentioned, but on average New York JFK 6.5 hours. This airplane is 2 years old. First flight was in August 2021. Also, if you just tuned in, you might not have heard me say that as of today and at least until the 12th, the Kaagbaan, one of the two preferential runways of Schiphol Airport, runway 0624, is closed for yearly maintenance. That means that it is out of commission for traffic altogether, 24/7 until at least the 12th, and that is if they don't get delayed with their renovation work. Means that runway usage is different as of today than otherwise would be the case. Today probably 06 would have been used for departures together with 18 left. Now, this morning at least, all three north-south oriented runways have been in use, with Polderbaan being dedicated to arrivals thus far and center the flexible one. At the moment used for arrivals, so parallel arrivals in progress. Earlier in the morning it was used for departures, and 18 left has been dedicated in use for departures thus far. Not sure what that is going to mean for the A380 when it arrives. Not sure what the runway configuration will be by then. Obviously, if it's going to be the same as it is right now with parallel arrivals and center also open. There's a near 100% chance that it is going to land on the center runway. That is going to be the case, I don't know. Also, I forgot to look at the schedule of the A380. I'm not sure if it is ahead of schedule today or if it is behind on schedule. Hey Tom, photo for you. Goedemorgen, good morning. Informing us that the Silkway 747 is expected in 6 minutes. That is awesome. Let me have a look. Where is it? Oh, it is. Yeah, it's going to center. Bummer. Got an EasyJet A320 Neo arriving from London Luton once again. Flight time no longer mentioned, but 35 to 40 minutes is typical for London airports and Amsterdam. The airplane is 4 years old, first flight March 2019. Alright. Let's see, is that the 747 already? I think it is. So that is the Silkway 747. Marinus is informing us that the A380 is ahead of schedule, expected before 1 o'clock. If that is going to be true, based on when they open up the center runway normally it is around 1 o'clock, so there might be a chance, but I'm not going to jinx anything. KLM flight 1422 737-800 arriving from Birmingham. 15 years old, first flight February 2008. And we've got a Silkway 747 approaching the center runway. Was already vaguely visible. So we've got a small airplane preceding the 747, and then we have the 747 coming this way. And over here we have number 190 arriving from Bristol. KLM flight 1050. Flight time 50 minutes. 14-year-old airplane, first flight June 2009. Hey Jean-Yves, good morning. Good to see you, man. Carol Ann, good morning. And Hans, goedemorgen, checking in from Almere. Got an A330 behind in the background, coming to this runway. So after this landing, it's over to the 747. But I also have to keep an eye out for the A330 landing simultaneously on this runway after this Embraer. Right, going to center is Silkway Air. Silkway West Airlines, in fact. Flight 201, arriving from Baku. This Boeing 747-400 freighter. Underway now for 4 hours and 42 minutes. This airplane is 24 years old. First flight was in February 1999. Right, and left of me, a approaching the Polderbaan is KLM flight 767, an A330-300 arriving from Bonaire, which is on the way for 9 hours and 8 minutes and is 11 years old and had its first flight in March 2012. Quick pan and is landing on Polderbaan right now. Not the most impressive of landings in terms of the audio. Good morning, Juan. Good to see you again. Hope all is well. Perry is informing us that the A380 is now flying over Vienna, so nicely on schedule to arrive just before 1 p.m. local time. Right, Pegasus A321 Neo is following the 747 to center, arriving from Istanbul. A321 Neo left Istanbul 3 hours and 5 minutes ago. New airplane, 1 year old, first flight May 2022. In the meantime, I am being spied on from behind. Well, I'm spying back, brother. Big brother is watching you. Well, I'm watching you too, bro. Got the next airplane coming in for Polderbaan, which is not as impressive as a 747 or an A330, but still. Number 175 arriving from Southampton. KLM flight 916. In the top left we do see the next airplane, which is a bit bigger than the Embraer 175, Boeing 787-10 Dreamliner arriving from LAX, KLM flight 604. Let's first watch the Embraer land, then focus on the flying AMS Live logo. Two airplanes visible. In the foreground we have KLM flight 604 arriving from LAX, Boeing 787-10 Dreamliner. Behind it is KLM flight 682, which is arriving from Vancouver, Canada, and that is a 777-300ER. Nice how the glide slope is visualized. Cheers, Jerry. And good morning, Colin. Good morning, Lucasson. Hope you guys are all doing all right. Hope everybody is, and hope everybody is having fun, most importantly. Right, so this Dreamliner is brand new, by the way. First flight was in May this year. Got 2 more airplanes visible. 777 from arriving from Vancouver, and another, it's double triple time. The second airplane is arriving from Curaçao. Both KLM 777-300 ERs. In the foreground we have KLM flight 682 arriving from Vancouver, Canada. Flight time 8 hours and 33 minutes. 7-year-old airplane, first flight May 2016. Behind it is KLM flight 736 777-300 ER arriving from Willemstad, Curaçao. Flight time 8 hours 48 minutes, and 5-year-old airplane, first flight September 2017. Double 300 time, nice. And happy Labor Day, Colin. I was hearing it on the radio. Over here in Europe, Labor Day is May 1st, if I recall correctly. But I heard on the radio, it was said at least, I'm not sure if that is true, but celebrating Labor Day in the United States in May was considered to be too socialist. So let's pick a different date. Do have Labor Day, but let's not do it in May, shall we? Russell is making a little ruckus, or at least he was just now, but now he's acting all innocent again. There you go. What you got to say, boy? Right, KLM flight 736 arriving from Willemstad, Curaçao. The sea in the ABC Islands. Aruba, Bonaire, Curaçao. Lying off the coast of Venezuela. 5 years old, this airplane, first flight September 2017. Alrighty. Russell is still talking a lot. Not sure what he is trying to say, but also having a look above. Do see a contrail, but it is flying away from me in the direction of Frankfurt. This is KLM, a flight 1278, if I'm not mistaken. Let's double check. Yeah, arriving from Edinburgh, it is a 737-800. 23 years old, first flight May 2000. So again, you can clearly see contrails are formed again, which is interesting because driving over here this morning, I heard on the news that the upper atmosphere was also supposedly was supposedly very warm. So I logically figured, okay, if the upper atmosphere is hot, it can contain a lot of humidity, so contrails will probably not be visible. But guess I was wrong, or the news was wrong. Not seeing any arrivals on the center runway anymore recently, so maybe they have closed it once again in favor of this runway being the only one for arrivals. This is Transavia flight 5806, Boeing 737-700, arriving from Thessaloniki in Greece. Flight time no longer visible for me. The airplane age is, and it is 20 years. First flight was in April 2003. Now destinations in Greece typically between 3 and 4 hours. Probably 3.5 to 4. Right, Sir Greebsalot is still fishing for breakfast. Or brunch maybe. It is 11:45 already. Too bad we never got to see if he got his breakfast just now or if it got away. He was struggling with it. Seems like I might have to update the ticker in terms of runway usage again in a minute. First, let's have a look at the next airplane that is approaching in the north. Where is it? There it is. That would be an EasyJet A319 arriving from Copenhagen. EasyJet flight 27936, flight time 52 minutes. The airplane is 14 years old, first flight February 2009. Pinch out a little bit. There is also an Embraer 190 visible in the top left. Behind it, German Airways flying for KLM, arriving from Glasgow as KLM flight 1474. I'm curious if does anybody know until when the lease or rental contracts for these Embraer 190s from German Airways until it runs. I think it was Marissa that recently mentioned that all the E2 Embraers of KLM are back operational again, due to engine difficulties or difficulties getting the right parts or something. But the fleet now should be fully operational again, so I'm assuming they will also want to get rid of the rentals then, if they have adequate capacity on their own, of course. And Michael, it's been a boring day in terms of special liveries today. Other than the occasional SkyTeam or Star Alliance, we haven't had any today yet. Or if we did, I don't recall having seen them. they didn't make a lot of, they didn't leave a big impression. Alright. German Airways, Embraer 190, flying for KLM, arriving from Glasgow. With the sun glasses look around the cockpit windows. Or as someone recently coined it, the bank robber look, which I also found very apt. Lance says, no specials lately, Woke will probably ensure he's cancelled. Well, I'm sure that the standard liveries filed a complaint for not being called special, saying that everybody is special, so let's just get rid of the term. Everybody equal, right? Two airplanes visible in the distance. In the foreground we have an Embraer 190 from BA City Flyer arriving from London City. Behind it is a Transavia 737-800 arriving from Olbia. In the foreground BA Flight 8451 Embraer 190 arriving from London City. Flight time 35 minutes. It is an 11-year-old airplane that had its first flight in April 2012. High pitch. It seems like okay. Misunderstanding there, Michael. Hard to follow all the messages. Thought you guys were talking about special liveries. Transavia flight 6918 737-800 arriving from Olbia. Flight time 1 hour and 56 minutes. The airplane is 11 years old. First flight April 2012. Having a look. To see what is coming next. Sander informing us that the A380 is still ahead of schedule. Okay, and as to my question about the German Airways, Anne is writing that the contract is extended until the upcoming winter. Nice. Well, it's been 2 or 3 streams now and we haven't seen the chocolate livery anymore. So has that one been returned to German Airways then? Interesting. I'm not seeing this airplane on flight radar. That is interesting. The next airplane to arrive according to flight radar is still further out and is an Embraer arriving from Basel. That is peculiar. It is obviously not an Embraer 190 but a 737 Corendon. Alrighty. Now the ticker is still mentioning the old runway configuration. Each time I have the time to update it, they change it. But there you go. Departures is 18C, 18 left, and arrivals just 18 right, if I'm not mistaken. Thanks Sander. Coren Undset Eindhoven. I always have a filter for AMS on, both inbound and outbound, but then of course you don't get to see it. Relocation flight between Eindhoven and Amsterdam, it seems like. Right, so this one is the Embraer 190 arriving from Basel, flight 1986. Vacating via the first exit, so we will know what that means. Always nice to see. Speed brakes going down. Right, Iberia Express up next. And Koen says, greetings from Bodegraven. Goedemorgen, just still 5 more minutes. And all other viewers who have joined us in the meantime, welcome as well. You're watching AMS Live, my name is Boy. This is the Polderbaan, runway 18 right, currently the only runway in use for arrivals. This is Iberia Express, flight 3722, an A320 arriving from Madrid, where it departed 1 hour and 54 minutes ago from. A 22-year-old airplane that had its first flight in May 2001. If you're a first-time viewer, welcome. Feel free to say hi in the chat if you are so inclined. Don't feel like you have to, but don't be afraid to do so. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Many people watching, a lot of them are knowledgeable, all of them are friendly. And Lance says that the chocolate livery has been visiting London City lately. So they changed it. They switched it up a little bit, it seems like. Ooh, got some kerosene fumes drifting over here. Don't always get to smell the exhaust fumes when you're standing here, because the wind most of the time is blowing from the west, but now it is blowing towards me, from the runway towards me. Delta Airlines flight 136 A330-300 arriving from Detroit, Michigan. 7 hours and 21 minutes before touching down. Let's listen in. I believe it was Alvin who yesterday said that the Delta A330s were the MVPs of the show, and I think today they are doing the same. That is what I'm talking about when talking about using the thrust reversers and making some sound. Beautiful. And in the meantime, thank you so much, Jerry, for another super chat saying, Flight Radar, I need a discount, I only use 8 hours. Flight Radar 8. They should make a budget version for Jerry. Right, that was a nice noisy one. Let's quickly turn around the camera. Got a narrow body coming in next, and after that I think it was a Dreamliner 10 that was next. This is Transavia flight 5312, Boeing 737-800, arriving from Corfu. Flight time is 2 hours and 37 minutes at the moment, and this airplane is 21 years old. The first flight of this airplane was in April 2002. P3 authority figure. Not exactly sure what these vehicles are doing, if they are just randomly patrolling or to make sure that no swimming trespassers cross this little moat, but moat, canal, whatever you would like to call it. Lisa says that the chocolate livery was in London City for their wet lease with ITA. Okay, but that was a while ago. Right now it's back in CGN at the Airlines home base. Okay. Well, it was always a frequent visitor to Amsterdam, and over the last couple of months, until that is up to 2 days ago, I think, or 3 days ago, there was not a stream that went by without us seeing it at least once, sometimes even twice, if it was doing short stints. Excellent! The Dreamliner pilot also using the reverse thrust there. Nice and loud, albeit a bit briefly. KLM flight 758, Boeing 787-10 Dreamliner arriving from Panama City. 3 years old, first flight November 2019. Let's turn around the camera because there's a 777 from Emirates SkyCargo up next. And we've got another big bird behind it, it seems like. Let's look. Yeah, A330 from Delta arriving from Minneapolis is after it. Yeah, and I'm also hearing the alarms being sounded over here. First Monday of the month. It is 12 p.m. right now. What a time for the Netherlands to be under attack. Now, does anybody know where the nearest by bunker is where I can hide from the bombs that are imminent? Anyway, Emirates SkyCargo flight 9989 arriving from Dubai. This is a 777 freighter. Flight time no longer visible on flight radar, unfortunately, but it most often is 6.5 hours. This airplane, by the way, 9 years old. First flight was in June 2014. Hey Yin, Cafe Spotter, good morning man. Good to see you. Hope all is well. Oh, that's a good question. Harry asks, how long does KLM keep their planes? When do they get new planes? Well, that is of course very much dependent on what they can use it for, how expensive fuel is, how fuel efficient the airplane is. I mean, you can see that these days airplanes get renewed much quicker just because fuel has gotten so much more expensive. The form of travel is getting different. Wendover Productions has made a couple of aviation related videos that quite well explain also how the old hub and spoke model that used to be used by a lot of bigger operators is now replaced by direct flights. The introduction of more fuel efficient airplanes also facilitating smaller airplanes flying directly to distant destinations. See for instance Air Transat now flying from Toronto, and recently JetBlue flying from New York. So you see that a lot of the wide bodies get renewed much more quickly in favor of perhaps smaller airplanes but more fuel efficient airplanes, so that they can fly to populations with smaller amounts of people while still being profitable. But you also simultaneously see that, for instance, KLM, if you look at the fleet of the 737, they are quite old on average. But it is still a very efficient airplane. It is still very applicable for a lot of purposes. So there really is no simple answer to the question. It depends on a lot of factors. But wear and tear is no longer the major reason these days, I think. It is because of technological developments and also different models of operating as a company that facilitate the replacement of airplane types. What we saw just now, by the way, Delta Airlines Flight 164, Airbus A330-300 arriving from Minneapolis. The next airplane to arrive is smaller, Embraer 190 arriving from London City, and let's have a look. Behind it is another Embraer 190 arriving from the left. Can we see that already? Coming in from STR. That is interesting. So it came in from the left. Did it overshoot? Embraer 190 arriving from London City. Typically a 35 to 40 minute flight. And we see a great many on a daily basis, not only between London City but also between Heathrow. Not sure if KLM flies on Gatwick. I think EasyJet only does that. This airplane was 11 years old, first flight January 2012. The next Embraer 190 is arriving from Stuttgart and is from KLM itself. Flight 1870. Flight time 52 minutes, 13-year-old airplane, first flight March 2010. Peppi, Servus, schön, dass du auch wieder dabei bist. Got a couple of Embraer 190s coming. Another one is following this one. And after that another Embraer 190. Would be nice if ATC would throw in an occasional other airplane type and not send in 10 in a row like they sometimes do. Then again, not much we can do about it. Unless writing an angry letter will help. So 2 Embraer 190s, but it does look like a 737 will be next after that. Let's keep the camera like so. Let's see if we can pick up that 737. It is approaching from the left, but I'm not sure if we are going to see it. Mrs. Professor has to go. Thank you so much for joining once again. Sleep tight and see you soon. No. Don't see the 737 just yet. Lane also has to go. Thanks for joining, Lane. See you later. Fijne dag verder. Tot gauw. In the foreground we have German Airways flying for KLM as KLM flight 1060. It is an Embraer 190 arriving from Cardiff, where it left 53 minutes ago. It is an Embraer 190 long range. First flight was in January 2007, making this airplane 16 years old right now. The wind is definitely picking up a little bit, which is nice because it is also getting a bit warmer. Keeps everything balanced. How nice is it to be standing in your shorts and t-shirt in the beginning of September from early morning already. When you have to think about putting on sunscreen before going out. Good times. And Sponge, we have seen a Queen. Unfortunately, the Queen did not land on this runway but went to center, which was then open for arrivals. This Embraer 190 is arriving from Hanover, sorry. KLM flight 1904, 13-year-old airplane, first flight January 2010. So as you guys can see, landings on this runway, departures both from center and from 18 left. This is the first day runway 0624 is closed for maintenance. The Kaagbaan, one of the 2 preferential runways, normally always in use, now for at least a week until the 12th, if they don't get delayed with their work. It is closed because of yearly maintenance. The next airplane in the distance to arrive is a Transavia Boeing 737-800. Transavia flight 5356, Boeing 737-800 arriving from Faro. Flight time 2 hours and 32 minutes. The airplane 21 years old, first flight April 2002. Hans says, t-shirt and shorts, pics or it didn't happen. Okay, okay. Let me turn around the camera. There you go. I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. Alrighty. This Transavia 737, 21 years old, first flight April 2002. The next airplane behind it is going to be an Embraer 175, arriving from Darlington. Also, that hat you saw me wearing is available. If you choose to purchase one, you can. Or if you wish to purchase one, you can in the AMS Live merch shop. Plug, plug. Right. Marcus Mustard asks, is it loud for you right now in real life with the landings nearby? Nah, it's not too bad. When those heavies do apply their reverse thrust, you do hear it, but it is only short-lived and it is not deafening in that I get ringing ears or anything from it. Right, two Embraer 175s coming next. First one is coming from Darlington and the other one is coming from Leeds. Let's see, there is the first one. Now I have to crouch behind the laptop. Oh yeah, the second one is entering from the left. Beautiful. That grebe was right in front of me, but it dove under just now. I was planning on showing you, but then it dove under, so I'll have to wait and see where it's going to re-emerge. While we are getting treated on a nice wheel. Damn, that was a nice one. I think that's the longest we've seen in the show today. Impressive. Now, where that grebe went to, I don't know. It was right here in the water, then it dove under, and now it's gone again. They really have ninja skills that are next level. Oh, all the way over there already, and yeah, going under once again. Nearly impossible to see. Embraer 175 up next, KLM flight 1542, arriving from Leeds. Flight time 43 minutes. The airplane is 7 years old. First flight was in May 2016. Further up north we are seeing a LOT Embraer 195, at least on flight radar. Not seeing anything visually just yet, but after this airplane has landed we are bound to see it in the distance. Right, we've got a special livery coming in. LOT Embraer 190 in the Grzeski livery, which I am totally screwing up the pronunciation of. Grzeski? Well, just click on the airplane on flight radar and read it for yourself. I think that is easiest. Okay, Yin has to go. Thanks for joining. See you later. And Aphrodite is back. Nice timing. We've got the Grzeski Embraer 190 from LOT approaching. KLM LOT flight 263, arriving from Warsaw. Flight time 1 hour and 31 minutes. 12-year-old airplane, first flight June 2011. We can already see the airplane behind it as well, which is a KLM 737-700 arriving from Bergen. Let's have a look. It has the bank rubber look or sunglasses look, whatever you would like to call it. Sunglasses is probably more appropriate. It has graffiti, or at least I think it resembles graffiti on the back of the fuselage. Oh wait, it's not graffiti, it is... I mean, it's not sunglasses, it is like a bit of tape that you sometimes see people put on their cheeks. Oh, it's also on the tail. Nice. Yeah, raccoon-like, indeed. Lance says Gus the Grebe is guzzling again. Well, he is definitely doing a little wash. Swimming in circles. Now, interestingly, after this next Embraer 737 has landed, we are going to see a pencil from Icelandair. Yes, yes. A Boeing 757. Don't see those very often. We do see them every now and then, but they do send their 767s over much more regularly. Or at least I get the impression. Talking about a nice bit of old school kit. The next airplane in the standard, the old standard livery is Icelandair flight 500. Boeing 757-200, 22 years old, first flight February 2001. Arriving from Reykjavik, flight time 2 hours and 36 minutes as we speak. You can also see the airplane behind it, left of it, which is an A320neo from EasyJet arriving from Palma de Mallorca. Also nicknamed the Pencil, the Boeing 757. Beautiful machine. Alrighty, next up, as one of the departures passes by, the next airplane to land is also slowly but surely getting closer by. It is an EasyJet A320neo arriving from Palma de Mallorca, flight 27882, flight time 2 hours and 3 minutes. The airplane is 4 years old and its first flight was in July of the year 2019. After this airplane, a Vueling regular A320. Thought I was hearing something resembling a drone or something, but I think people are cutting the bushes with, or the grass with, one of those two-stroke things that have wire on them that spins around. I'm not sure what it is called, neither in Dutch nor in English, but a streamer or something? I think that was what I was hearing. Lars is informing that the A380 is above Enschede, so in Dutch airspace already. That is nice. It was ahead of schedule. It is expected in 20 or so minutes from now. And Ronald is giving us very promising news. It is confirmed that it is going to 18 right. So ladies and gentlemen, we are going to see the daily Emirates A380 later today. So, is that in a special livery by any chance? Or I totally forgot. The forecast was that today the runway was going to be used for departure. So I only checked departures and never had an elaborate look at the arrivals for today. Oh, this is an A320 arriving from Alicante, from Vueling. Flight 1377. Landed after 2 hours and 12 minutes in the airplane, 8 years old. First flight December 2014. Normal livery, Sander says, okay. Hey there JD, good afternoon. Lunchtime in Düsseldorf. Bon appetit, as they say in proper Dutch. Now, Russell is no longer there, but we do have Gus de Grebe. Or was it Gary? Seems he has a full tummy and is doing the washing, the dishes. Right, so let's point up the camera. We are. Oh, and back to manual focus at infinity. There we go. Got another German Airways Embraer 190 flying for KLM on arrival. KLM flight 954 arriving from Newcastle. This airplane is on the way now for 55 minutes and the airplane is 14 years old. First flight was in January 2009. Mojave is informing us that the Orange Pride PHBVA 777-300 is leaving UK airspace ETA a minute to 1 p.m. local time. Super awesome. We're going to see both. In fact, with the A380 being so early, something interesting is coming after it. Let's stick around a little longer then. Right, let me have a quick zoom out. Oh nice, 777 is approaching. Can we see it already? Where is it? Surely I must be able to see a glimpse of it. It's flying base. Oh yeah, I do have it. There we go. Our next airplane, turning base to final. 777-200 from KLM. KLM flight 755 arriving from Guayaquil, which is in Ecuador. The triple is on the way now for 11 hours and 9 minutes as we speak. It is a 777-200 ER. She's 19 years old and her first flight was in December 2003. Hey Yorkshire! Good afternoon, Paul. Good to see you. Or, well, no, it's still morning over in the UK. Good morning, bro. Hope all is well. I'm assuming Yorkshire is having the same weather as we do over here. Nice 20 plus C already. Sunshine in abundance. We also have a 777-200 arriving from Lima. It's getting a bit more busy, which of course I don't mind one bit. Hey, what's that? Ah, okay. Airplane maybe overshooting the glide slope a little bit. Let's just focus on what we can see best. Martin, goedemiddag. Good to see you, mate. Welcome to all viewers who have joined us in the meantime. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. Arrivals on Polderbaan. Runway 18 right. At the moment the only runway in use for arrivals. It's the first day that the Kaagbaan is closed for maintenance. Runway 0624 will be closed at least until the 12th for yearly maintenance. And that means different runway usage. Today the wind is blowing from the east-southeast and all three north-south oriented runways have been in use, with center switching between secondary for arrivals and secondary for departures. At the moment, center and left both used, 18 left and center, that is, for departures, and this runway 18 right, the only runway at the moment for arrivals. We'll soon see the Emirates A380 arriving from Dubai, and it has been assigned to land on this runway, so we're going to see it up close. Before that, we are going to see several big birds. The first of which is approaching right now. 777-200 from KLM arriving from Guayaquil, and a few more are coming. Thijs, goedemiddag. Good to see you. Perfect timing. The next airplane to arrive is going to be an Embraer 190 from KLM, arriving from Berlin. We can see another airplane in the distance already. That is an A320 arriving from Nador, which would be Fly to Sky, which I think is flying for Royal Air Maroc or Royal Air Arabia. There is a third airplane approaching from the right in the background. I'm not sure if we can see it already. I think we do. Yeah, we do. Excellent. The third airplane approaching from the right is from Norwegian, arriving from Oslo. That is a 737-800. So we've got a beautiful shot here of the glide slope, 3 airplanes in one shot, and also nicely closely together. We still have a little wind from the east-southeast. Handful of knots, nothing too serious, but you do see that the airplane noses are pointed to their left or our right, a little away from us instead of towards us. KLM flight 1820 arriving from Berlin, Embraer 190. Short flight, probably an hour or so. The airplane is 9 years old. Alright. Again, 3 airplanes in the same shot. In the foreground we have an A320. I think it is flying for Royal Air Maroc or Royal Arabia Maroc or something. Flight to Sky, all white livery. Arriving from Nador in Morocco. Flight time at the moment 2 hours and 33 minutes. The airplane is 16 years old. First flight was in February 2007. Thanks for the update, Sander. Keeping us posted of the whereabouts of the A380 that is arriving from Dubai and is expected in, what is it, 15 minutes or so, maybe even less. It has already been confirmed that it will land on this runway, ladies and gentlemen, so we are going to see it up close and also, more importantly, hear it up close, which I think is going to be the most impressive. At least that's what I am hoping for. Now all the narrow bodies we've seen over the last few minutes are using either reversers, it seems like. They have opened their slots, but they are not using them, or hardly at all. Unlike the Delta A330s, which today also have been the loudest in terms of reverser action. Next up is the Norwegian Sigrid Undset livery Boeing 737-800 that is arriving from Oslo. This airplane is 16 years old already. First flight was in April 2007. Let's have a look at the ladies, shall we? Right, let's quickly turn around the camera. We've got a big bird coming in. All the way from Lima in Peru, KLM flight 744, which is a 777-200ER. Flight time of this airplane right now, 12 hours and 3 minutes, so half a day underway. She's 19 years old, first flight was in November 2003. All right. Well, Carlos's brother has safely landed then. Marcus asks about the weather and are there any clouds? Well, this is what it looks like. This is looking to the east. This is looking to the south. This is looking to the west. And and this is back looking to the north. So we have a few high clouds, but nothing too serious. Next up is KLM flight 1620, arriving from Milan, Boeing 737-800. Flight time 1 hour and 20 minutes. The airplane is 22 years old already. First flight September 2000. Now, what I was mentioning earlier when the question about when airplanes get replaced or renewed was asked. This is a prime example of an old airplane type that you won't see. You won't see wide bodies with ages such as this airplane so quickly. And you can see a nice departure from center. All right. Let's have a quick look. All right. Etihad 777 will precede the A380. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the Emirates is 5th for arrival, if I counted correctly. This would be EasyJet flight 23301, an A320 Neo arriving from Edinburgh. It is 4 years old, first flight October 2018, and the only one that has that glitch on the Android app of Flight Radar, that if you click on the label of an airplane that is about to land, you no longer see the flight time. You have to click on it well in advance. But if it is too close to hitting the ground, so to speak, that part is no longer visible for me. I don't experience this every day. Some days it works and I can click on an airplane that is just about to touch down and I can still see the flight time. And on other days, such as today, I have to be very quick and well in advance, otherwise I'm missing it. Meanwhile, thank you so much, Herman, for becoming a member. Thanks for your support, man. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge. Also, Gerrit, Alvin, good afternoon, mates. Your timing is impeccable. We've got the Emirates A380 coming. I think it is number 4 for arrival. Also, the PHBVA Orange Pride 777-300 from KLM is also coming. Not far behind the Emirates A380. Right, this is Shamrock flight 604. Aer Lingus arriving from Dublin, A320. Flight time no longer mentioned, but an hour and 15 minutes or so, I think. I think an hour. Dublin is not that far away by plane. Two-tone engine casing. That was probably... Is that normal? Is that the standard? Surely not. Aren't they all green, normally speaking? That's... Left side looks all green. The airplane 23 years old, first flight May 2000. Now, let's have a look to the north. What is there to see? 737. And what is that lurking in the distance? Creeping up behind, I think it is the A380. Right, in the foreground we have Etihad Cargo flight 913, which is arriving from Abu Dhabi. It is a 777 freighter, flight time 6 hours and 16 minutes. The airplane is 10 years old, first flight January 2013. Behind it is the Emirates A380 arriving from Dubai. And the Emirates A380 at the moment, number 5 worldwide, tracked by 572 people on flight radar. I'm assuming these are all AMS Live viewers. Alright, let's quickly turn around the camera. Here it is. Emirates Flight 147. The A380-800 arriving from Dubai. Landing on the Polderbaan. It's been a while, we've had to wait for it for a long time. But we've been lucky now twice in the same week, I think. Really amazing. Ian asks, would I rather have landing or takeoff shots? Well, it's interesting. Both have their appeal. It depends on the runway. Departures from Kaagbaan are much less interesting than from the Polderbaan, where you can stand in line with the taxi route where the airplanes come from the main platform area. I think I have a slight preference for arrivals if I have to choose between the two. Now, flight time between Dubai and Amsterdam almost always is approximately 6.5 hours, and today is no difference. Flight time so far has been 6 hours and 23 minutes. This airplane is 10 years old, first flight April 2013, and let's listen in how it's going to sound. Well, hard to say. Probably on equal footing with some of the A330s. Definitely not louder. I think it is on par. Now people, don't go away just yet. We've got the Orange Pride PHBVA 777 coming next. What a finale. It is KLM flight 622. It is arriving from Atlanta, Georgia. Flight time 7 hours and 57 minutes. The airplane is 15 years old. First flight was in January 2008. It is the PHBVA, aka the Orange Pride livery. Now, how about that? The A380 and the Orange Pride in the same shot. I am running behind on the messages. Thank you so much, Aphrodite, for your super sticker. And also, thank you so much for your super sticker, Alvin. Video game controller jumps up and down excitedly. Well, that was definitely exciting. Now, let's have a look on Flight Radar, see what is coming. We've got more coming in. MASkargo A330 number 2. So let's turn around the camera. The A380 was ahead of schedule. So let's stick around a little longer, at least until we've seen most of the interesting stuff. Can we see that A330 in the distance already? Bit hard to see. I'm not seeing it just yet. It is coming. Too bad, but we cannot get them all in the same shot. Embraer 175, KLM flight 1766, arriving from Frankfurt. Probably around 40 minutes of flight time. This airplane 6 years old, first flight June 2017. Where is that A330? There it is. MASkargo, flight 6126, Airbus A330-200, arriving from Doha, where it left 6 hours and 14 minutes ago. This is an 11-year-old airplane, had its first flight in October 2011. And in the bottom center you can see the next airplane approaching from the left behind the A330. Also seeing that we have well over 600 viewers and 464 likes. Can we get that up to 500 today, ladies and gentlemen? I'm sure we can. Right. MASkargo. So the fortification, or at least the bulge you see from the nose gear. Initially I thought it was fortification because of cargo weight, but that's not true. The natural angle when it is on its landing gear is downwards facing the standard the standard A330, and this is to elevate the nose gear so that the airplane is level. Didn't know that, but you can see the bulge where the nose gear is, but it makes the airplane level instead of downward pointing. And I see we've reached the 500 mark in the meantime. Thank you all so much. Super awesome. Now, got an Embraer 170 from Air France op coming next, and another Embraer behind it. No, sorry, that is an A319. Hey, oh no, I thought we were also going to see a 777 arriving from Shanghai, but it is probably the first airplane once again for the center runway. So it looks like center is reopening, which is typically around 1 o'clock, which is why if the A380 is not ahead of schedule, we almost always seem to miss it. So it is consistent. I have to give that to ATC. Good day, Eduardo and Captain Cringe, good morning. Benny Pater, if you're still around, thanks for joining, buddy. This is Air France op, arriving from Marseille. It is number 170, long range, 19 years old, first flight June 2004. Having a look. And let's see, where are the things over there? There is the first airplane to center, not yet the triple. An Embraer 175 coming from Aberdeen. Meanwhile, over here, Top Air Portugal, flight 674, Airbus A319, flight time 2 hours 28 minutes, the airplane 23 years old, first flight November 1999. And Vasil, you are indeed too late for the A380. It has landed, I think 10 minutes ago. Rewind the stream a little bit and you can see the landing still. Also directly behind it is the Orange Pride from KLM. Also worth watching back. Top Air Portugal, taking the first exit. Thank you so much, JD, for your super chat saying perfect lunch, A380 and 777 Orange Pride. Thanks, boy. Well, no need to thank me. It was all planned by others. I was just there to film it. Next up, Vueling, arriving from Barcelona. Flight 8309, Airbus A320. Flight time 1 hour and 47 minutes. The airplane 8 years old, first flight April 2015. got a butt shot coming in. Vueling taking the first exit where we are standing in line with. Spoilers are down, and are the flaps already retracting? I think they are. Now, let me pinch out a little bit. Air Transat is coming. Having a look on Flight Radar to see what is coming. A lot of inbound traffic, but it does seem that most of it is all narrow bodies. Right. I was hoping that maybe we were going to see some more heavies in the short run, but it looks like everything coming to the runway now is narrow bodies. So maybe that is a good sign to wrap it up soon. This is Transavia flight 6728. Arriving from Seville. Flight time 2 hours and 31 minutes. The airplane is 8 years old. First flight was in March 2015. And JD asks, do we have strong wind from the west? No, we have wind from the east, if anything. The wind is blowing from the east-southeast. Now, why is there a Delta A330 going to center? What is going on here? Arriving from Seattle. Why is it skipping this runway, and why has it been going to the other runway? I'm a bit disappointed here. Got an Embraer 190 arriving from London City here, KLM flight 984. Wind is picking up a little bit. I can see the camera shake a little bit. That is due to the wind. Windmills in the distance also spinning a bit quicker than earlier in the stream, earlier in the morning. But it is nice because it is also warming up, so when standing in the direct sun all the time, it is nice to have a little refreshing breeze over here. No. We've got plenty of traffic coming in. It's all narrow bodies. The next airplane is an A320 from EasyJet, arriving from Milan. And in the top left you could see the next airplane behind it. That is a 737-800 arriving from Madrid from KLM. And we've got a KLM 737 moving into center. Meanwhile, over here another KLM 737 is next. KLM flight 1700, and behind it is an A320 from Vueling arriving from Valencia. Arriving from Madrid. This airplane is 22 years old. Had its first flight in November of the year 2000. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it seems like for the next, well, 10-15 minutes, if not longer, it's only narrow bodies coming in. I think maybe this would be an appropriate last airplane to tune out with. It is Vueling in the Disneyland Paris 25-year special livery, so it is a nice colorful Disney livery, arriving from Valencia. Flight 8353, touching down after 2 hours and 5 minutes. A 7-year-old airplane that had its first flight in April of the year 2016. And have a look. Peter Pan. Or is it? Is that a ferry? I don't know. I think it is time for me to wrap up. It's been a great show. Let's leave some for other streamers and other folks. And I will be back on Thursday. It's the beginning of a week of Indian summery weather. Temperatures later in the week increasing to up to 30 degrees Celsius or 90 degrees Fahrenheit. So that shorts and jean and t-shirt I have been wearing today will be out again on Thursday. Thank you all so much for joining. I had a wonderful time and I hope you guys did too. We've had a lot of viewers today, so I'm guessing you guys are enjoying it as well. Thanks to everybody for joining. Thanks to everybody for giving super chats or super likes or super stickers, donate through PayPal, donate memberships, become members themselves, or maybe buy something in the merch shop. Your support means the world to me, and the channel wouldn't be anything without you guys. I'm looking to go out again on Thursday, probably in the morning. The weather should be good, so probably same time on Thursday, the beginning of another long weekend of live streams, hopefully. For now, I'm gonna say goodbye. Thanks to all the moderators for keeping the chat another day, another friendly place. I will see you all later in the week, hopefully. If not, take care. Enjoy the rest of your day for now, and hope to see you all on the next one. Bye for now.